Hello. Welcome
Hola.
to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. What the hell was that noise?
Oh no.
I think somebody just burped. It wasn't me. We're here for our normal fortnightly live show with my resident American matey, old Stormy over there.
Hi.
SciWorks. There's a link in the description. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Take them out. So if we hear kids, we hear kids. Don't worry about it. Right. Are you back with us?
And I am glad to be here.
One sec. There we go. We're back. We're happy. We're happy. Excellent.
Just as to warn the viewers, I am a snot rocket this week, so please.
Disease.
Yeah. Please upload pity.
So we're probably going to get viruses through our computers now. It'll be all Stormy's fault. So, first of all, before we get into it, we're going to have a little bit of a chat about what we've watched this week. And then we'll get into the topic of the week, which is Firefly Series 2, or what if we can fantasize about if only.
If only.
If only. I'll kick off, mate, because I've already done a video on watching Picard Series 1, but Series 2, Episode 1. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Is Star Trek back?
You know, I kind of liked it. Actually, I really kind of liked it, and I'm sure we're going to get hate mail for that from somebody, but I actually did really enjoyed it, and especially, Q snaps his fingers. He's back to the 80s visage of Q. And then, let me catch up.
Yeah, I did quite like that. Wasn't the best CGI in the world, but for the budget and everything else, I think it's pretty good. But now I honestly, the general consensus on a lot of groups and stuff online seems to be that everyone loved it and everyone thinks Star Trek is back. And this is the Star Trek we actually want to see. They listened to the fans. We all got very angry at the end of Series 1.
You were very angry. Hell, you made videos about it. Your anger.
I was very, very angry. But they seemed they were listening. I think the makers of Star Trek, Alex Kurtzman, whatever, listened to this. So brilliant. I got some guy, Barney Rubble, saying that this is clickbait. Firefly Series 2 by. See you, buddy. We haven't even started yet. Calm down.
Jesus. Judgmental much. Barney Rubble.
See, he won't be subscribing. We're not worried.
He's rushing.
So what have you seen? What else have you been watching this week before we get started?
Okay, so this week I binged Space Force.
I've binged Space Force as well. I quite like that show.
That was entertaining. Ended too quickly. They're short episodes, and John Malkovich. I love him as an actor. I mean, he's just,
yeah, he's one of those lovable actors. You can't help but love him, can you?
Yeah. And it's just when he was doing Red, the thing was, yeah, it was so almost out of character for him. And but he did it brilliantly. Anybody want pancakes?
The only thing I've watched this week, I've started to watch Resident Alien Series 2. That's going to be a nice segue into what we're going to be talking about this evening, because Alan Tudyk stars in that Resident Alien. I think it's one of the best sci-fi shows on TV at the moment. I honestly do. I think I mean, it is funny. It is a comedy, but it's just brilliant. I just adore that TV show. I laugh my way through it. It is sci-fi as well, and there's some very clever little bits of science fiction in there. And Alan Tudyk is just fantastic.
Yes, yes, he is.
Which is a nice segue, like I said, almost on purpose, into what we're going to be talking about this evening. Barney, you see, clickbait. We are going to talk about Firefly Series 2.
Jackass.
Now he wishes he'd stayed now, doesn't he?
So the other thing I was watching was Discovery, some of the newer episodes of Discovery.
Yeah.
And
I've not watched any of it.
Huh?
I've not watched any.
You haven't watched any? Okay.
Not even one episode.
Spoilers away, but the ring, the death match in the ring, that was very entertaining.
Like that.
It was just fun to watch.
Everyone was topless with sharp weapons, pointy sticks. The problem over here is in the UK, we have Discovery, but it's on a TV channel. It only shows it at set times, like old-fashioned, like we were back in the 90s again. So it's at 9 o'clock on a Friday. I'm busy. I can't watch it when I want to watch it. What is this? Communist Russia? No, I'm not.
You can only watch the war when it's on TV.
Oh, I will watch it when I want to, or not at all. Damn it. So we'll get into it. Right. So I put a poll up on the channel, the community channel. Last time I looked, we had 132 votes. But I was asking basically, right, so if there was a Firefly Series 2, and we're going to talk about it today, and we're going to sort of fantasize about what we would have wanted in the Series 2, I could see that we had a couple of options. So we could either completely ignore the movie Serenity. And by that I mean, so the show was never cancelled. It just went through. And what would you like to see in the end of the Series 1, going into Series 2? What would you want to see? Or I thought, Ross Whedon said that the movie was basically where the first series was going to go. So let's ignore that Wash was murdered, pretend the movie is like Series 1, and then or that then a series cracked on straight after the movie. Or the third option is canon's canon, Wash is dead. It breaks my heart to say that. But and then, you know, we got a season. We got another Series 2 after the movie. So we got those three options. Where we go. Unfortunately, the people have spoken. This is a democracy. And over 50% of the people said no, canon's canon. So what happened. Wash is dead, people.
Yeah, there's a thorn.
Yeah, as a
firm food.
As a leaf on the wind that's been speared into a wall. So yeah, he didn't even leaf on the wind. Done. We'll talk about that briefly, though, right? Because they made that movie, and I think Joss Whedon only killed Wash for an emotional impact. I think they knew the series was done; it was never coming back, so they murdered Wash.
He wanted to make you cry. Yeah.
Now they're talking about a reboot. Disney, there's rumors constantly going around that they're going to do a reboot. And it'll just be a TV show called Firefly, and the ships will look a bit like Firefly, and they'll have no link to it. But if they were genuinely going to do a reboot a couple of years ago, if they hadn't have killed Wash and got Alan Tudyk to do it, I think that could have got made.
Probably could.
But they killed him.
Yeah.
Well,
do you think if Disney does a reboot of that, do you think they'll go hardcore woke on it? Like, will Mal Reynolds, will he be like, I don't know, some short little girl that's dressed in, you know, frilly anime cosplay stuff? Like
why is that woke?
The brown coats.
Why would that be woke though? If it was
just changing his gender, changing his gender identity, changing his orientation.
Do you know what would be really weird is if they changed Jane's gender, so Jane was a woman. That would just be like that would
the heroine of Canton.
The heroine of Canton.
The heroine of Canton. Jane, the woman they call Jane.
I tell you what, they were cold, your singing voice.
Stood up to the man and she gave him what for. We love her now, hard to explain. The heroine of Canton, the girl they call Jane. I'll stop.
Cold singing voice, gorgeous, gorgeous.
You are drunk.
I would have. So let's go with the fantasy then.
Okay.
I would love to know what if how would Series 2 start? See, we've had the movie. The movie was a massive success, so they have given us a second series. How would that second series start? Because I've got a brilliant idea how this series could start. Can I just run with it? Can I just tell you what I think?
Go for it.
So everyone, the ship, so it goes into the ship. You know, they do those brilliant wandering around shots that they do where they go through all the different rooms and things. Everyone's running around. Jane is freaking out, going like, there's going to be loads of blood, there's going to be loads of blood, and panicking sort of thing. Mal is sort of like getting bits of medical equipment stuff, and Simon's sort of like in the thing, get her to the meds, get her to the meds. But then it pans across and it's Zoe, and she's having a baby. Basically.
God damn it.
She was pregnant with Wash's baby.
These are my two things I
Saffron's
want to see. Either Zoe's preggers or Saffron's preggers.
We're going to talk about Saffron in a bit, because I want to throw out to a couple of my honorable mentions.
Mind-reading freak.
I know, right? But I actually think Zoe was pregnant in one of the comics, so I think I might have stolen this idea.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I just think that's how it's, because it's got to start like though as if they're under attack or something, and they've been shot in the head or something. You know, somebody's bleeding horribly, and then it goes, Zoe's having a little ginger baby. So then we would call it Wash again, because obviously Wash is his second name. Got a little quiz question for you. What was Wash's first name, or what was actual Alan Tudyk's proper name in the series?
Last name was Washburn, and the first name was Holland.
Oh, you are so close.
Hoban. Yes.
Hoban Washburn.
Yeah.
But I think that's how that has to start. Oh, see, we've got some sci-fi Firefly fans in the house. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that then? I think that's an obvious start, but God, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would since Wash is dead, murdered, had stabbed through the heart it was just his body ruined and torn asunder. Let's have a little baby. A little baby.
So. I want to see Jane as like Uncle Jane, and and then that would just be awesome. I think there's a lot of comedy elements to that. That was the main thing with the series. It was funny, and it was quite sweet in the way it stood. Jane's character was obviously a very violent character, but they always had that streak of kind, of sweetness to him. I just would love to see him trying to pretend like, no, stupid baby, and then like, go.
He loved his mother.
Yeah, exactly. And it's Inara trying to deal with it and things like that. With I just think it would have been a really nice way to start the series.
Mm-hmm. It would. So,
from a reality point of view, though, the Alliance is not happy with the crew of the Firefly. No. I think Series 2 would pretty much be dealing with the fallout from that, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They're not going.
I mean, essentially it was genocide.
Yeah, most definitely. And it was trying to control the population.
Planetary genocide.
Yeah. Very clean genocide, yeah. So, I mean, the thing I loved about that plot in Serenity, though, was because there isn't a government on the planet that wouldn't go for that. They wouldn't be like, we can put something in the water and it would calm everyone down. No, not the obviously the murder bit,
right?
But what they were trying to do. Right. It's like we can calm everyone down, have no violence. Everyone would just sort of do as they're told.
A Buddha pill. Everybody take their Buddha pill.
Exactly. There's a big a conspiracy theory. That's why there's so much fluoride in the water, because it makes us a bit dopey. But I think there isn't a government on the planet that wouldn't do that, given half a chance.
Oh yeah.
But the Alliance, not the nicest people in the world. So, but how do you think they would have reacted? Because in the movie they sort of say they're not looking for you; they've got bigger things to worry about. But let's be honest, some spiteful people in the government, they're not going to be happy about that,
are they? I definitely think the government would try to fuck their shit up. They did let the rabbit out the cat out of the bag, and really ruined a good thing that the Alliance had going. you know, and now, you know, the Alliance is going to have to, and bromide in the tea. The Alliance is now going to have the problem of dealing with the repercussions of the Reavers. How many billions of credits has the Reavers, how much damage have they done to General Alliance shipping? You know, private and public. I mean, there's a, I mean, yeah, the Alliance does have their hands full, but that doesn't mean there's a department that's got, you know, a picture of Mal as on a dartboard. You know, it doesn't seem like the Alliance forgets its enemies very easily.
I suppose it's just a big organization, but I'm talking about the Reapers, though. They're going to be Reavers. Reavers or Reapers?
Reavers.
They're going to be quite relatively decimated. I mean, that was a large chunk of their fleet went head toe to toe with an Alliance fleet. It's one thing about the movie. I was a little bit disappointed by it. I loved the way they did the Alliance ships in the series, like they were those cities, like they were like buildings.
Stacks.
Yeah. In space, you don't need to be sleek and, you know, thing. And they didn't do that in the movie. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. It would have looked crap in a film, really, I suppose. But, you know, it's just like, yeah, shame. It's a shame they did that. But the fleets, the ships they had were pretty cool. But you got to wonder how many of the Reavers were actually wiped out. So is that maybe not going to be a problem for the next series, or would we still see the Reavers? Or there's going to be a cleanup now because everybody knows what they are. So,
well, I guess it's. I guess
cognitive.
I mean, they would have to clean them up. You know, I don't know if did they get them all. Was that the only planet? You know,
well, it was just tried. Yeah, that's true. But we know from the series, the Reavers were pretty much ignored. They were like the Alliance tried to pretend like they were the boogeyman, that you know that they didn't, you know, they weren't really a thing. But now obviously everyone knows, so they'd have to try to deal with it. So I mean that's going to again be a big part of the second series. I think the series 2 would have started with them just trying to survive. I mean, they were on the edge anyway, but now they have to steer clear of everything Alliance. How would they even survive the next 12 months, on the outer planets? If the series had gone on, I'd have loved to have seen maybe another uprising sort of thing, and an attempt to actually get freedom again. But in series 2, I think it would have just been about surviving.
I could see where there would be, the opportunity for uprising, and there could be a fracturing of the Alliance, or maybe the outer planets have just had enough. And there's nothing to say that the outer planets could also seek other systems to move to. The Alliance has System A, and the outlying planets, the browncoats, find another system, and and then there's the static between those two groups.
We'd have continued to see, I think, the week-on-week episodes, because obviously in the first series they were struggling to survive and just trying to make money and trying to keep flying. And obviously we would have seen that, but it would have been more difficult. I think with the baby there would have made something for them to actually fight for a little bit.
Yeah.
How about some of the characters then? Where do you think they'd have carried on the will they won't they between Mal and Inara, wouldn't they? There is some
oh yeah, you got to keep that tension up.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are some rumors or theories that Inara was actually sick in the first series, and then in the movie, and that's why they didn't get together, because Inara knew she was dying. So I think that could have been an interesting storyline, to say that she's got some sort of illness.
What was she dying of? I guess it wouldn't be like space syphilis or anything.
I think it was space cancer. Space syphilis, considering her job.
Well,
some sort of deadly space STD. But yeah, I mean, there could have been a million different things in it, but it would have been something that medically they couldn't fix, sort of thing. But I think that could have been a really interesting development as well. That if towards the end of the series they have to try to save Inara, or even Inara dies because already by them. Trying to remember her name, Marina Baccarina, the gorgeous Marina. Anyway,
Right.
so beautiful. She's so gorgeous. Was already becoming quite a big star, sort of thing. So she could have been poached, maybe. But I think I quite like that theory that maybe that's why she left Firefly.
And I mean, maybe that was why she was at the temple.
Mm.
The companion temple, and he was trying to get, healed from whatever space syphilis she had.
Space syphilis. That's now a thing.
I'm going with space syphilis from now on, yeah.
I tell you, all the NASA ones are going to be up there having. They're going, oh my God, we all got space syphilis. So would have loved to have seen what Earth is like now after the split. Is it habitable? Are there something there at all? Earth barren? Yeah, in the series they kind of suggested that the Earth was sort of depleted. And
the Earth that was.
Earth that was, yeah. So I mean, to be honest, it's probably all right by now because if we left, the Earth would recover probably quite quickly. Yeah, it does. That's the problem.
Fucking with it. Yeah. If we would stop shooting nuclear power plants.
Exactly, yeah.
With fighter jets and artillery shells.
Let's not get too political. At the start of this time, I said, what have you been watching this week? My first thought was the news a lot.
Yeah, BBC, Sky News, France 24, yeah.
I get the BBC News alert, and every so it's a little red box that appears, and it's a news alert, but it doesn't tell me what's happened. It just says news alert. And every time I'm there going, oh, God. What now? But yeah. Let's get back to Firefly, though, because that's why we're here. We'll have we need a channel for the news, just like we're all screwed.
Old men bitching about the news.
And my knee hurts. Genuinely, my knee hurts.
And I've got snot rocket. Itis.
Yeah. Space syphilis in your face.
Dude, facial syphilis. Oh, God. I hope there's a cream for that. You know what? In season 2, who I would like to see more of?
Yeah,
Badger.
He is on my list of.
Is he?
He's I got a list. Honorable mentions.
Because if the Alliance is running into problems, I think Badger, at least the way the character was written for 2 episodes he was in. He could take up. It would be a great many opportunities for Badger, at least on Persephone. But yeah, Badger
they'd
could
have had to have gone into the criminal element a lot more, though, wouldn't they? They'd have had to have maybe took on jobs that they started to in the first. They took on jobs that they did not want to do, and Mal didn't want to do, but they would have had to have gone deeper into that. Another character that you have to remind me: did Niska die? He didn't, did he? His buddy did. The big tattooed guy got kicked through the jet engine.
Yes. Yes.
But Niska is a character that is one of my favorite episodes in the series, where their Mal's getting tortured and keeps getting killed and then brought back to life and killed. I would have loved to have seen another, particularly again if they're being forced to do jobs more and more that they don't want to do. Could that have brought them into Niska's world a bit more? He's a character that I thought was fantastic. I'd have loved to have seen him come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there. I mean, where would you want to see them go? What kind of branch of the story would you want to see developed around this guy?
I just think he was just such a violent psychopath, wasn't he? That I just think anything that if you get dragged into their world. Again, I'm trying to think about it. They've got this baby they're trying to protect as well, and I think that would maybe be an emotional element to it that I think would be interesting. That they were a family, weren't they? But that's going to be even like boiled down and like even more now because of this child in there. I just think the threat of Niska would have been interesting, but I think it would have to be similar to that one episode. They've done a job. Niska's got. Maybe they didn't know they were working for Niska. Niska would have a bit of a revenge wanting. He wanted to sort of get a bit back at him. For the life of me, I'm now panicking, thinking I can't remember how that episode ended with Niska. But I'm sure he's still on his space station, isn't he? They went in and they dealt with it. I've watched that episode literally about a month ago. Somebody get into comment.
What if like Niska is the one that has Mal's picture on a dartboard? What if he's the one that wants to annihilate the rest of the crew? What if, in the terms for the Alliance, Book's dead, yay, and then the other Alliance, Wash is dead, but now we got a baby Wash, and maybe the long-term seasonal arc is Niska not getting baby Wash or babies.
That'd be good, because again, he wouldn't want to just kill Mal. He'd want to torture Mal. One way of doing that might be to take his family away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a brilliant way to, to build up towards the end of the series, or when it's like mid-season, sort of like double episode sort of thing. But I think that'd be really threatening, really good. Let's go back to Badger though. Mark Sheppard. Somebody back in the thing said Mark Sheppard makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favourite bit part actors, and a British actor as well, because we all love the British actors.
Oh God! There's another one coming in there someplace. I'm so sorry. Okay, like I said, it's not right.
You
Go ahead.
Drink a lemon. He was in Leverage quite a lot. He was fantastic in that.
Yes,
I've seen him in a few things since. He's great in everything.
Did you ever get into Supernatural?
I never really watched Supernatural. Was he in that as well? Was he?
Yes.
I kind of missed it. And then I tried to watch it about halfway through and couldn't quite get into it. I kind of missed the start.
Yeah, he plays the character Crowley, the ruler of hell, on occasion.
Okay. I need to see that.
The Supernatural was a very long, very complex story.
There's like
really
seasons, weren't there?
Yeah.
I love the guy from that. The longer haired one of the two is now Texas Ranger. What is it? Walker, Texas Ranger, and a prequel of that. That's going to be. I will watch that. Actually, I used to love Walker, Texas Ranger. There's nothing better than a Gowron. Like take your honor of your name, or a where's it going with that? Gowron memes, and I forget that. I've lost my mind. My thingy.
Have you been taking my cold? Is that what's going on here?
I must have been. I'm drinking alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, Critical Event's absolutely right. Supernatural is worth watching just for Crowley.
Yeah.
It's. I
might have to give it a go.
And then there's his mother. Oh my God.
Satan's mom.
Yes, in Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just
See, I've got so much to watch, and I never got into Supernatural. I was always told I should, and I never did. But anyway,
it's going to be a long haul binge, man. Just settle down for the summer.
Yeah. The other bit character that I would love to see return, and if we had a second series, I'm absolutely certain we would have done, was Christina Hendricks Saffron.
Yeah. That's a spin. Saffron.
Oh God. I would watch a series with. I would watch anything with Christina Hendricks. Anything. She could just sit there telling me off, and I'd still just happily sit there watching it.
Oh God.
She's one of the most beautiful, gorgeous women on the planet in TV today. I watch that Bad Girl she's in. I don't watch the show. I have no idea what's going on. I just watch Christina Hendricks walking around. But yeah, the Saffron character was just stunning, and she was funny. And again, that's one of my other favorite episodes. Was the one where they get the I can't remember what it's called now, it's rubbish or something. It was trash when they get the.
Oh my God! Yeah, and Mal starts off the episode just naked in the desert. Yeah, that went.
Yeah, exactly. That is again one of the great. To be honest, saying which episode is great of Firefly is because they're all brilliant. But I wouldn't have minded seeing a return of the bounty hunter as well from one of the episodes that wasn't shown. I think it was the last episode actually, wasn't it? The bounty hunter guy that kept talking to himself. His name's gone, and that's going to bug me because I know his name. Somebody in the comments will tell me in a second. But how he was a proper psycho, and he kept talking to himself.
Oh God! It's the guy that was also in Torchwood.
I'd love Torchwood. Yeah.
He was one of the crew. It's like I
okay.
think the position.
I would just love to see him come back but like need the crew's like need Mal's help for something. I think that'd be quite good. I'd quite like to see that in one episode. So he comes back and he's got like a job for him, sort of thing. I think that'd be a good episode. There's so many things that they could have done.
Yeah.
Canceling this show generally makes me angry.
I mean, it was one of the dumb. I mean, Fox News, right? I mean, the Fox Broadcasting Corporation. They got it. They paid all the money to film it, right, and produce it. Then they showed it out of order. They switched nights twice, I think. You could never find it anywhere. And, there was not streaming. There was no such thing as streaming back in those days. And it's like, you see the commercials every single day. Well, where's the show?
Exactly, yeah. Didn't they keep skipping it for like baseball and stuff as well, didn't they? Didn't they keep skipping weeks and things and all sorts?
Yeah, it was. They just, Fox just was not serious about promoting the show. I mean, it was just like they filmed it, and it's like, ooh, let's get rid of it.
I do think there was a problem in the way it was, because I remember seeing this advertised, and I was already a big fan of Nathan Fillion. I thought in Buffy, his character in Buffy was just the priest, the psycho priest, was just fantastic.
Now I got to go watch it again.
Well, but I used to watch Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place before that. The sitcom that Ryan Reynolds was in, and he was great in that. I just thought, this is a really likable actor. He will do well here.
I watched Free Guy this week, since you mentioned Ryan Reynolds.
The sequel is on its way. It should be officially announced this week by the looks.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, the script is pretty much done apparently, and they should get they're looking at getting greenlit this week, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, Nathan Fillion he's just one of those actors straight away. You just knew there's lots of things he can do. Yeah. He's a comedic actor. He can do action. He can do anything. So I knew Nathan Fillion, and I was already a big fan. And I saw Firefly advertised when it first came over here in the UK, and it was only on like the Sci-Fi channel over here, which isn't a big channel over here. It's like one of those. It's like 200 and something in the on the cable thing. And I just thought, I'm not watching that. Cowboys in Space. That looks stupid. Even though I was a big Buffy fan, I was a big Joss Whedon fan, and I just thought it just looked silly. And it was the way it was advertised. It
was horrible.
Yeah, it didn't grab the flavor thing, which is why I was saying that if Firefly does come back, they could do with toning back a little bit on the Cowboys in Space. But I don't mean they should take it out of the show. I just mean they shouldn't advertise it like that too heavily, because it looks a bit silly. Not that would be a problem though now, really though, because Dark Matter did get shafted. You banged on there. That was a great show. I'd love to see that come back.
Really good.
But it's like they need to tone back on the advertising and advertise it at what it was. It was also advertised like it was a screwball comedy sort of thing over here.
Yeah.
And again, it's not. But enough people have fallen in love with it in the 20 years. That's going to make you feel old. 20 years since this show was cancelled. It's like they 2 decades.
Do you have to keep repeating it, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 20 years ago. Did you hear it, Stormy? I said it was 20 years ago. 2 decades. 20.
Do you know the only reason I actually watched Firefly though was I went to HMV. I don't know if you got that in the States. The record shop. HMV.
HMV.
Yeah, it just sells DVDs and records and things. So I went in HMV and they had stacks of the box set. I mean, like stacked up in the doorway, £20 for this box set. And I thought, I do remember seeing that advertised. You know what? For 20 quid, for like 15 episodes, I'll have that. I halfway through the first episode, I was just like,
perfect.
Where have you been in my life?
Where have you been?
Because this show is better than chocolate. This is just fell in love with it. And by the time I'd watched The Train Job,
yes,
there was just like, I literally binge. I actually phoned in sick and binge watched Firefly that day. I phoned in. My boss was like, I goes, I'm poorly. What's wrong? I want to watch Firefly. I mean, I've got a cough. It's like,
I've got a cough.
yeah. I pretended to be you, and I just fell in love. If anyone who's in the comments, tell me how you caught Firefly. Did you actually watch it on the TV, or did you catch it afterwards? I'd love to know what people think.
You know, I didn't get to see the whole thing until I bought the box set.
Yeah,
You know, at that point in time, I wasn't attached to the TV, to the TV, but I was wanting to see it, and they kept. I mean, it was. You know, I didn't get to see the whole thing till I bought the box set.
I know, it's terrible. If we talk, so we've talked about the characters we want to see return. We want to see Iska. We want to see Badger. We want to see Saffron. You know, we think that this baby thing would be good. We think Inara might die in our series 2 version of series 2. I think there's so many good. Obviously, Shepherd Book will be returning. Simon Tan can return. Tam can return or not. I really wouldn't care or notice. Because it'd be halfway through the series. Because where's Simon? And somebody else.
Well, you know, I mean, he could actually go do real research shit now. Now that the, I mean, he was on the run from the Alliance, trying to cover up the secret of Miranda. Well, everybody knows about Miranda now. Him and River could actually get along, with life. River, I would say, would River stay with him? Would River just stay with the crew?
Well, him and Kaylee are an item.
Oh, that's right. Now Kaylee's pregnant.
Now Kaylee's pregnant as well. Everybody's pregnant. River's pregnant, and we don't know by who. And Jane looks all very sick. Like, looking at his feet a lot. Like, oh, I don't know.
Baby nursery now on board.
Yeah, that would be good. They'd have a room, like a pink baby room, wouldn't they? But yeah, that would be an interesting. That would be, because I loved Kaylee. I loved Jewel States. I don't know why she's not been in more. She was in Stargate for a couple of seasons. She was great in that. I don't think I've ever seen anything since. I did look her up once. I think she does some sort of drama in America. I don't think ever came over her. But and she is buff. That girl works out. I'm
telling you, man, she's done some sit-ups in her life.
Yeah, Simon's pregnant as well. I like that. It's the future. Anyone could be pregnant.
She's currently she's on some show called Family Law.
Family Law. There you go. That sounds bored. I'm not watching it. But yeah, that's woke. Babies. Men can have babies. I'd love to talk to you about, but obviously they're talking about doing a reboot. Well, no, they're not officially. There's been no talk about a reboot, but the rumors go on and on and on. And you mentioned it being woke earlier. Hi, Sean. How are you, sir? You mentioned it being woke. It would be, wouldn't it? They'd woke the crap out of this, wouldn't they? And you know me. I'm not a big fan of woke. I think people get very, very angry about this, and I think some people that have isms at the end of their name because they're racisms and sexisms, and they use this as an excuse to get very angry about TV shows sometimes.
I know we don't want to get more political today, but from, let's just say, current world events that everybody and his brother is paying attention to this last week or so, I think, we're entering maybe a post-woke era. These little complaints that some people have are really kind of seeming small, maybe infantile compared to greater issues. I mean, was 2 Thursdays ago, was at the beginning of World War III. We don't know yet. And so I think some people just say, well, maybe there's something else I should be worried about than, what's in Mal's pants, unless, of course, it's Saffron.
Yeah, that's a mental image I've now got. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Let's have a moment of silence and think about that for a minute. So this show is not woke. We ain't got no problem with that. I do think, though, that it's on Disney. Now, Disney can make some terrible TV shows, but they can also make some wondrous TV shows. If they get the right person in charge, the most recent rumor I've heard is that Jon Favreau is going to be given a crack at it. I immediately went, piss off. You know how many Star Wars jobs he's got over the next couple of years? The only way Jon Favreau is doing this Firefly series is if he desperately wants to do it. And he's basically begging to do it. Other than that,
yeah,
it's a nonsense. But it was on a podcast, and apparently they've got an inside source that's told them this is what's happening. I will have to apologize if that's true, because I might have said you're full of shit.
Well, it would be nice if somebody actually, had if there was a Firefly project, somebody had its the creators of full intention. They were fully attentive to this show, as opposed to 15 different Star Wars spinoffs, a bunch of Marvel stuff, and who knows what else is going through the boys' head.
That's a good point, though, Kirk. I was saying actually, a lot of the sets might not have been way better. You could kind of run them together, and you'll have a good way of saving money.
Take out the moisture evaporators and the tauntauns, and you're good to go.
Yeah, actually, that's not a terrible idea. That's genuinely not a terrible idea. The only way I think Firefly could possibly come back and be a success, I'm absolutely certain it will come back at some point. I think it's too popular. There are too many people that still today, after 20 years, go on and on and on about Firefly. Oh, we are. This is why we're talking about it.
Yes.
Because we love the show. So it will come back at some point.
I think so.
But for it to come back and be a success, well, Nathan Fillion tried to actually buy it. He genuinely did try to negotiate to buy the rights to it a few years ago.
I didn't know.
And he was in an interview and said, basically, if I won the state lottery, like $100 million sort of thing, which he's worth that anyway. But anyway, if I won that, I would buy Firefly and I would make a Firefly series. He loves the show, So the only way I could see it coming back is basically if Nathan Fillion got on board as like an executive producer or something and like pushed it through. After The Rookie's finished, he's like, I want to make Firefly. Maybe not a star in it, but I desperately want to make Firefly. Or if somebody like Jon Favreau that can basically go to Disney and go, I've done a really brilliant. I've done The Mandalorian for you. It's been massively successful. I've done, I directed this, and this before. And basically he's in a position where he can get what he wants. And he wants to do it. Not maybe Jon Favreau, somebody like that. Somebody's going to go into Disney and go, I want it. I want to do it. And that they, really adore hey, Mike, from Wales.
Hello,
over the border. Only about 5 miles from me. You wouldn't know. Do you know where Wales is, Stormy?
Yes, I do.
Oh, excellent. Well done. Just checking.
It's kind of you've kind of got Scotland, and you have England. Over here you have Wales, and over here you have Ireland, and that little patch of Ireland called Northern Ireland. It's very awkward for everybody.
That's our bit. That's the bit that we sort of went, can we have this bit?
The
Irish went, Wales is where the sheep and the hills are. Wales is generally one of my favourite places on earth.
Cardiff is in Wales. Is that correct?
Cardiff.
Is that
If ever you come to England, though, and you go hiking, Wales is the place to go. You will get rained on a lot, but you'll love it. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Northern Scotland, Wales are the two places to go. But anyway, I've got my train of thought again now. What were we talking about? Firefly
coming back under Nathan Fillion's gentle guardianship.
I'd love to see what Nathan Fillion could do with it. He's produced a couple of good series now. He's a big part of what makes The Rookie good. He produces it. He's involved in that sort of thing. I think he could do something with this. I don't know if, like I say, I don't know if he'd star in it. I think it would have to be like Firefly: The Next Generation. But I think he could do something interesting.
I mean, he is definitely a talent. I mean, he's had the fortune to be on 4 if you count Buffy, really good television shows that had longevity. Buffy, Firefly, Castle, and Rookie.
Yeah.
Castle, not a lot of
10 seasons.
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube video that goes all of the Firefly mentions in Castle, and it runs for about 8 minutes, this video, and it's just like constant little mentions. Obviously, you've got the him coming down dressed as Mal, and his daughter goes, "What are you supposed to be?" He goes, "Space cowboy." Something. He goes, "Dad, you wore that 5 years ago. Move on." Something. He obviously loves the show. That was a completely different audience. Most of the people I imagine watched Castle at the time went, "What? What?" But but yeah, I think Nathan Fillion could do something with this. I think if Jon Favreau, if that rumor is true and he genuinely wants to do it, I think he could do something brilliant with it. I think he's a very imaginative filmmaker, and I think he's. I just don't see it. I've never heard him say he wants to, and I don't know where they've got that from, but I suspect it was just a YouTube video and it got a lot of hits. I suspect.
Probably so.
But something I get accused of a lot. So, you're just making stuff up to get hits. Because I sit around imagining stuff. That's what I do. It's like, but anyway, I don't know anybody else. Like I said, I think it would require somebody that absolutely loves it. Because if you don't have a showrunner, somebody that comes in, Joss Whedon isn't going to be allowed to do this. He is a pariah in thing, and I can't imagine Disney going near him with a 10-foot cattle prod at the moment.
Now, I know he was accused of some bad things, but how did all that settle out? I never got the real skinny on any of that.
It never really, there was never really like any formal accusations. He was just basically just a lot of people rumors that he's a bully. I saw an interview with Spike. His name's gone. Another great English actor, Spike from Buffy. Anyway, I saw an interview with him, and he says he banged heads with Joss Whedon loads of times. What Joss Whedon at one point had him against a wall, telling him, "You're fucking this, you're fucking that, get out of here, get out, you're dead," sort of thing. And then he went on to appear in the next 5 seasons, and because the executives loved him, Joss Whedon wanted to get rid of Spike. The executives wouldn't let him. And then obviously Joss Whedon eventually sort of fell in love with him like we did, and ended up getting into Angel and whatever. I'd love that how Spike came back as a ghost. Maybe Wash could come back as a ghost. Let's do that. Now Anthony Head was the headmaster. Was the teacher, wasn't he?
Right.
Marshall Masters. No, is that Eminem? Something like that. It's something like Marshall Masters or something like that. Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry,
I don't know why he's singing, but anyway. But yeah, he was in it and he said he was going to start. But the Joss Whedon did executive and write a bunch of The Nevers, which is actually a show that's actually really good. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if it's coming back for a second season or not, but it was really good. And he left the show halfway through, and nobody knows why. But the rumor is it was because he was being a bit of a dick.
Let's see, The Nevers.
Yeah.
Is that the show kind of Victorian era?
Yes.
These women. This thing came across.
There's a spaceship come across, and it gave them all superpowers and things.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah,
but, loads of mysteries, a lot of questions in that show. We never really got any answers. But yeah, I loved it. It's great. It must have been last year or even the year before. I don't know if it's coming back, but yeah, he left that, and apparently there was some accusations that women weren't very happy with him. James Masters, thank you, Mike. Dear God, that would have bugged me. I knew Marshall Masters wasn't right, but I knew I wasn't a million miles away either. But there have been accusations, and Charisma Carpenter has made accusations that she basically ended up in therapy because of him. There's accusations that she was basically suffering PTSD because of the way he was. Now, other people have just said he's passionate. He's a passionate filmmaker, and sometimes his passion got away with him a little bit. Other people are more sensitive. Some people like Spike could get away with that, like James Masters got away, could understand that. And James Masters actually said that in this interview, that he's just passionate. He never really took it personally. But obviously somebody like Charisma Carpenter did take it personally, and she struggled for a long time with it afterwards. But with those accusations, though, I can't see Disney in particular going near him.
Yeah, I understand now, yeah.
But that's sad, because I actually think he is a brilliant filmmaker. I loved the first couple of Avengers, but then obviously he went into Justice League and completely screwed it. They had half a film, and he just went in and went, "No, I'm just going to take everything you've got and I'm going to ruin it." You know,
Yeah, I kind of did just like basically hate Justice League.
I would rather take nails and shove them in my own testicles than watch the original Justice League again. But I'm also very particular when I say that. Normally I stick my finger in my eye and twirl it round when I really, really don't want to do something. I don't know why I put nails into testicles, but anyway, I was trying to be graphic in that I really, really don't want to watch it again. But the Zack Snyder cut was actually quite good. I actually quite enjoyed it.
I didn't like that either. I mean, it was, oh man, it's a complicated thing with me. It wasn't just too long. It was just too much. You know, I mean, it was like somebody took out, you know, the middle of the Bible, of the Old Testament, and just mixed it all up, you know, and just, I don't know.
It was confused in places though, because obviously they didn't do any more filming.
Yeah.
Like there's the bit at the end, isn't there, where the Mars guy comes, the green fella comes down, and there's no reason for it. He has a chat with Batman, and then he buggers off. No reason for it, but it was what was supposed to be in the original, and obviously they couldn't recut. So yeah, there are some bits in it that are just mental, but it was so much better than that. But I tell you what, DC have not been able to make a good film until the new Batman. The new Batman is excellent. Genuinely really good. DC have not been able to make a good film for that. I watched Wonder Woman 84 recently. That was very painful. That was actually almost unwatchable. Batman versus Superman, other than the why'd you say that name bit, that was pretty good. But I mean, no, I don't want to watch any DC movies. Aquaman, I love Jason Momoa, and even that was crap. Everyone went, "No, Aquaman's really good. Watch it." I was watching, going, "You lied to me. This is crap as well." But you know, but actually, Batman's brilliant. But yeah, I just can't see. Joss Whedon's never coming back anyway. I just can't see it. And a lot of people say that if Joss Whedon doesn't come back, they don't want to watch it. They would rather Firefly didn't come back. And
well, I will outlive those arrogant people, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, here's a. I keep seeing this a lot. I saw this come up a lot with the Book of Boba Fett. Fans have this relationship with whatever franchise it is, Star Wars, Batman, whatever, and they feel that they have ownership of said property, and they don't. There's a guy I want to talk about here for a second. Let's see, what was he? It was I know I'm burning up time. Let's see, it's
okay. It's called filler.
That's right. James Cameron writers. Let's see. The Terminator was written as a kind of a short story by, what was his name?
I want to see if somebody can get in the comments before you can.
We're probably saying, yeah, jerks.
Mike, just don't bother. Mike, I haven't plucked up the courage to watch any DC movie. Just don't. I think you save yourself some time, to be honest. But go watch the new Batman, because that is brilliant. So we're a bit arguing that the new Batman's woke because one of the bits in Catwoman says that you white privileged people deserve what you get, and goes, it's woke. The bad guy's just a white guy. And I'm like, no, white privilege, that's kind of a thing.
Kind of is.
Yeah, kind of a thing.
Harlan Ellison is the author I'm thinking of. Harlan Ellison. Okay. He wrote a short story about that, and about Terminator, about the ideas, and he's credited at the end of the film. Harlan Ellison had kind of this vibe on that. It says, you know, an artist doesn't owe the fans anything. The artist sits behind a well, by then it was a typewriter, and just cranks out stories after stories after stories. There's nothing, if you write one story, there's no rule says you have to write 10 more right after it. And he said, I know other, readers of mine want to see more. Well, I've got other things I want to pursue. And I think with, these big franchises, especially started with Star Wars, and the fans feel that they deserve this, that, or the other. And where I liked Book of Boba Fett because it showed a transformation of, this badass Darth Vader kind of groupie that really just got fed up with how his life was taken in by this Tusken tribe, and it changed his life. And that was the story. But the fans wasn't having it. No. They want to see the violent, ill-tempered, they wanted to see the kind of the Bane character, they wasn't interested in, and then they blamed it all on Disney. They blamed it on the actor. They blamed it on whoever. But, they just couldn't accept maybe something, he was just more than two-dimensional. Maybe he was more than just a killer,
The thing is, though, with any story, though, you're not going to make anybody happy. Yeah, everybody happy, I should say. You're always going to annoy some. If they do something different, they're like, why are you doing something different? The original works. If you do the same again, someone will go, why are you just doing the same again? It's boring. Do something different. So, I mean, it's like whatever you do, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Go back to Firefly. That's going to be a risk with this. If they do the reboot and it comes back, it's going to divide fans because some fans will go, brilliant, I just want Firefly to come back. Let's see what they can do with it. I want to see a show that doesn't get cancelled. I want to see let's see what we should have had first time round. And then there's going to be just as many people going, just leave it alone. I don't want to see another bloody reboot. And to be honest, I'm leaning more towards that way. I'm sick to death of reboots and remakes and reimaginations and prequels. I hate prequels. They just need to leave them alone. Firefly is I think it's a huge risk if they bring this show back, because I think it was. This is going to be controversial now.
Oh God, not controversy.
I
don't understand it.
Firefly is not really a very good show. It's not particularly. It's very well written. The dialogue is great. The special effects weren't very good. The actual general plot wasn't particularly very good. But what was amazing was that family of actors that they got, and the way it was written. Joss Whedon's words, the writing was phenomenal, and it was just like it was one of the greatest ensemble of characters, a family of characters on set that is just. It's one of the greatest things that's ever been put on screen. But actually, lots of parts of that show shouldn't have worked.
That's true. Well, actors, if so, there's a lot of actors that you've given shit lines, they will make magic out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it had the right people. And Sean, you bang on there, man.
Yeah, Sean's got it.
I feel that with this channel, to be honest. Sometimes I get comments like, "I don't like that. I don't like this. You need to stop doing that." And that's the one I like the best. I had an edit thing that I used. It was like a staticky bit, and I quite liked it between cuts.
Right.
I've had 2 or 3 people say, "I don't like it. Stop doing it." And I at one point, I don't mind somebody saying, well, that's a bit irritating. I don't really, personally, I don't really like that. But they don't say. Some people say they'll tell me to stop doing it. And what I want to say is, this is my channel. I'll put what I want on my channel.
Yeah.
But you got to try to be nice to people. I don't know why I bother. I'm too polite. I'm too English.
You're too kind.
Yeah, I should just go, you know what? I'm just going to do a video just of that staticky thing all the way through, and that's it. I won't say anything. But no, I won't. But I've bowed to pressure, and I've changed it. I've changed the way it's edited. I don't know why I did. I might bring it back now. I've talked myself out of it.
So
Yeah.
sad.
So say we all.
Oh.
I think we figured out what we would have wanted in series 2.
I think so.
I
want to see everybody pregnant.
Yeah, everybody would be pregnant.
Badger own Persephone.
Yeah, and there is those few characters we'd have loved to have seen to come back. You know, maybe not all of them, but you know, a few of those characters would have loved to have seen come back. And I would have loved to see where Jewel stayed, Kaylee ended up. And with that is the only reason I'd want Simon even in the episode, is because I just want to see, because they're so cute together.
Oh my God. I'm gonna live. Bam, 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 bam.
The only thing we haven't really mentioned though is the story arc with River, because I think that was sort of fizzling out. I'm not quite sure where that would have carried on going if she'd have.
Well, you know, I mean, she got a. At the end of Serenity, you know, it was definitely into chapter 1. You know, she was cured of whatever craziness she had. I'm guessing deep psychological trauma.
Yeah.
Being able to recall Miranda, and then go there to Miranda and face what they've been hiding. You know, and you know now they're free to explore just what she is mentally capable of.
Yeah. And the thing is, would there have been other secrets she'd have known?
Yeah.
And she was masking her violent tendencies. But that is the end of our show this week. Again, we are going to keep these around an hour if it kills us, because we would talk about everything. But we figured out where we want to go. Thank you guys for everybody that's got into the comments today. Mike, Sean, Critical Event. We've had a few of the regulars in as well, like Ian and so on. So a new one, Natalia, pretty name. So thank you guys for joining. As always, even though you are dying and on your deathbed, Stormy, you have made it along. And we've listened to you snot your way through this.
Snotted my way through it, man. Just for you, dude.
But you made it. You made it. So thank you very much. Guys, get into the comments afterwards. So is anything else you would have loved to see? Also, get in the comments and let me know, or send me a message on Facebook. You can join us on Facebook at Sidetrack. There's a link in other of my videos. I don't think there's a link on this one. But anyway, what other stuff do you want us to talk about? What things do you want us to talk about? We're going to do this thing where we'll talk about what we've seen during the week. We'll have a topic, and then we'll do a little, what have we learned this week? We've learned that everyone's going to be pregnant if ever they bring Firefly back. That's the main thing we've learned.
And then we're going to bitch about something random.
And then we'll bitch about something random. Well, we'll see where the conversation takes us, because we always just wander. And as we should, because this is our show, Storm.
Yeah.
We can talk about whatever the hell we like. Even if a young man right at the beginning, let's just see if we can find him. I can't find him in the comments. Accuses us of clickbaiting. So, oh well. Barney. Goodbye now. See you, Barney. You ass. Anyway, Stormy, get well, mate. We will
thank you, sir.
In
you
2
have a great
weeks.
2 weeks.
Will, thank you. 2 weeks, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which I need to be telling people because nobody can figure out. Because we have viewers all over the world. I mean, literally, all over the world. So, which just astounds me whenever people say hello from. I did have a guy come who go, so where are you from? Telford. You're kidding me. That's where I'm from. So that was a bit of a thing. So
there you go.
Normally people say like South America and stuff like that, but no, okay. But yeah, so guys, yeah, tell us, Sean in the US, thank you. Tell us what you guys want us to talk about, and we might pick some topics. Stormy,
sir,
my friend, see you in
Thanks
2 weeks.
For having me again. I appreciate it.
My resident American, my favorite American person, other than
person.
And everybody, good night, guys. See you soon.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. Take care.
Bye.